Let's stay on this thought process around salespeople. Answer me this. Salespeople born or made, born or made, born or made. What do we think? Well, let me rephrase the question for a second. What does a 3-year-old do when they want something? Before that? Before that? Let's just check in for a second. Who in this room has a 3-year-old or has been a 3-year-old? What does a 3-year-old do when they want something? First thing they do is they ask. Failing that, what do? Ask again and again and again and again and again. What do they do after that? Whatever it takes. We were all born with the innate ability to be able to ask for things. I would go as far as saying that your success is in direct correlation to the quantity of quality asks that you make in your life. Period. I promise you, if you put enough energy, or even as much energy as you do, into asking Alec to make it easier for you, into you making those same amount of outreach asks to your past clients, potential referral partners, and opportunities that you already love on, that one will pay more than that one. Your success is in direct correlation to the quantity of quality asks you make. Who has a prospect, a partner, an opportunity right now they'd love to have in their book of business in 2025 that you're keeping a secret? See, I meet people in every industry that are wishing, waiting, hoping, and praying for an opportunity to present itself instead of working for it. If you do not ask, you do not get. I know that to be true. You know that to be true too, right? That's not new news. So what is it that stops you from asking for the things that you want in life? It's funny, I can ask that question in any language, anywhere in the world. I get the same 3 answers. I either get fear, rejection, or I get fear of rejection. Any one of those 3 answers. I'm going to see if we can reframe some of our thinking around fear and rejection and our relationship with it. Let's start with the rejection piece. Who in this room has been rejected by somebody they care about in like the last 7 days? I don't know what it was. You might have wanted Chinese food and they're like, are you kidding? It might have been you wanted to say next vacation, I'd love to go here. And they're like, what is wrong with you? It might have been you wanted to have fun in the bedroom and they're like, not tonight, honey. I don't know what it was. You had one idea. They had a different idea. And guess what? You got rejected. And in your personal life, no big deal. Correct? No big deal. See, I'm pretty sure that if my wife is not into it tonight when I get home, no big deal. Why do I know it's no big deal? Because me, her, chicken and broccoli, spicy noodles, we'll be together again. Just not tonight. Not tonight. Who in this room has spent money on something in the last 6 months they wouldn't have dreamed of buying 6 years ago? Why? Because your circumstances have changed. People's circumstances are changing every single day. Which means the client that said, I'm delighted to keep on to my 3.5% rate in December could be sat there right now thinking, I really freaking need 125 grand in the next 30 days, otherwise I'm in trouble. Where can I go for it? Too scared to talk to you because they were so stubbornly smart telling them that they were sticking onto their 3.5% rate. It means that when somebody said no thank you to you, they were only saying no thank you at the time. And today is different. Why is it with the rejection that we face in our personal lives, it's no big deal, but when we face rejection in our professional lives, we take it personally? That's weird, right? That's a bit of a mind bender. I think it's because we know in our personal lives they were not saying no to us. They were saying no to it. That's a very different thing. They weren't even saying no to it. They were saying no to it right now. The same is true with the rejection you get from a referral partner, the rejection that you get from a past client, the rejection you get from a prospect. They're just saying no to it, not you. They're just saying no to it right now. Rejection is part of the game. Accelerate the number of rejections you see. The byproduct will be success. What about this fear thing? Is fear real? Yes or no? Is fear real? It's kind of cute. I've been seeing people talking about fear like it's not real. Some of you might be old enough to have seen corporate trainers doing this. Some of you might be new enough to see TikTokers doing it yesterday. But what they do is they take the word fear and turn it into a cute little acronym. What they do is they flip it up on a flip chart. It's like it's an F and an E and an A and an R. And you know what they say? They say all that fear really is its false evidence appearing real. I must have seen this like a gazillion times. The best I can think when I see it is like, dang, that's cute. Could you legit imagine being in a situation where you were genuinely scared and somebody presented that to you as advice? And it being any way helpful? It would be weird, right? But you know what I see in this industry right now? From LOs, from real estate professionals, from buyers and sellers. You know what I see in this industry right now when faced with fear? What I see in this industry right now when faced with fear is I see F everything and run. How do we not do this? How do we go in the other direction? Why can't it just be easier? I mean, geez, we need rates back to 4 point something, at least 5 point something. I mean, high fives I'll take. If we're going to reframe our thinking about fear, we need to understand something fundamentally true. Who in this room is at least kind of good at something? The thing that you're kind of good at, I'm guessing there was once upon a time, a period of time that you were a lincy bit scared to do that thing. The thing that today you are remarkably good at, once upon a time you were scared to do. Yes or yes? Now, if that is true, what else has to be true? Basic math equation. If that is true, what else has to be true is that fear is the fertilizer of growth. Has to be true. So if you're not sat in this market right now thinking you're a tinsy bit scared, wondering where your next piece of business is coming from, wondering how to stand out in a competitive market, wondering what the future of mortgage is going to be, that's called complacency, my friends. Complacency will get you killed. Being a tinsy bit of scared means that you are growing. The turbulent changes inside of this industry right now, do you know, means you're ripe for one thing? Obnoxious levels of market share movement. LOs are going to move all over the place. Buyers and sellers hold very little loyalty to who they work with. Real estate agents are trying to be able to go through huge amounts of change. They're running scared, and when people are scared, they change. Which means that if you choose to own this situation, you can leave with not incremental levels of growth. What was it like? Could you just get 3 new people into your team? 3? Well, like today? A year? Wow. Like if your life depended on it to bring 3 new people into your team, could you do it? If somebody held your kids to ransom, somebody you cared about to ransom, how long would it take you to get it done if your life depended on it? I'm sorry to inform you, but your life does depend on it. Literally. The quality of your life depends on what you do today, the next day, the day after that, and how you keep compounding it. Instead, what we do is we wait to put somebody else in charge. Which brings me to what I believe to be the most important lesson that I came to share with all of you today. The most important thing that I came to share with you today is oh, hang on. Oh yeah, that's it. When is the worst time to think about the thing you're going to say? It's in the very moment where you're saying it, right? That is the worst time to think about the thing you're going to say. Yet how many times have you walked away from an important conversation and thought shoulda, woulda, coulda? How many times have you stepped away from an important conversation and thought, who on earth was that idiot? With the person you were speaking about being oneself. It is almost impossible to debrief a conversation and change it. Almost impossible. But what you could do is you could pre-brief that exact same conversation, and chances are you could change it if you get ahead of it. I said you're going to learn how pedantic I am about word choices, so much so that I did write this little book about them. It's a book I'm insanely proud of for a gazillion reasons, but one big one is it's like a genuine bestseller. We've now sold nearly 3 million copies of this tiny book, translated into 29 different languages. This tiny little book right here, it outsold 50 Shades of Grey. And Harry Potter. Legit. For one whole day. But if you guys can make up awards, then so can I, right? then so can I. Why do I tell you that it's a best-selling book? It's because I learned that people are very good at buying books. I repeat, they are very good at buying books. What are they not so good at doing? And then taking action on what lives inside. So I figured if I could write the biggest tiny book possible, fill it full of white space, make the font about this big, allow you to get cover to cover in an hour, chances are people might actually read it. Chances are they might get to the finish line. Chances are they might take action on something they learn inside, and they do. Because every day a stranger writes to me to tell me that it's been true. It's a book full of what I call my magic words. What magic words are words that talk straight towards the subconscious brain. Subconscious brain is powerful in the decision-making process. Why? Because it has a yes output and a no output. There is no maybe in the subconscious. See, people think that no is the enemy of yes in a sales role. They think no is the enemy. It isn't. Indecision is the enemy. Maybe is the enemy. Perhaps is the enemy. I mean, think back over your last 12 months. How many conversations did you have with people that almost potentially perhaps made a move? What difference would it make if more of those people would just confidently decide one side of the line and know for why? See, I've learned that if you talk to the subconscious, you can accelerate the speed of decision. If you can accelerate the speed of decision, you can accelerate the speed of action. And if you can accelerate the speed of action, you can accelerate the speed of transaction. It is that easy, and it is that hard. Still confused about the subconscious brain? I'll share some examples of where it served you. Does anybody here remember like a familiar car ride, where you remember getting into the car in the morning, and then you remember arriving at the destination, and you have no idea how you got here? That was the subconscious brain that took the drive. Like, don't worry, anything unusual happened, conscious brain would grab the wheel, you'd be back in control in a nanosecond. But it's like our human autopilot. Without it, we'd be exhausted 30 seconds after we woke up for the quantity of decisions we need to make. Still confused about this subconscious brain? See it as nothing more than a little voice inside your head. That's it, just a little voice inside your head. And if you're sat there right now thinking that you haven't got a little voice inside your head, that's the little voice telling you you haven't got a little voice. We all have one. Learning to speak to other people's is what could give you a fair advantage in almost any moment that matters.